backed, which means cover up to 100% of the cost with that. And Ryan, just thought I'd ask you some of the questions that typically come to mind. What aspects of SmartQuote in particular do you see helping you engage the customers more quickly with sort of bringing them around?
Well, I would say that it's great for our sales consultants when lead comes in, there's a phone number attached, and they can pick up the phone and call them back within 15, 20 minutes, if not sooner. And they've got multiple photos. They've got information about the car. They've got different versions of the car, trim levels, as well as can take them all around the quote to where it links into our social media and to visiting our website. And it's kind of a one-stop shop. So it's nice. It's pretty dynamic, and most everything that customers need or have questions about is typically on that quote, and it helps further the conversation along. It helps that first phone call, which must have been only a 5 to 7 minute phone call. Sometimes those can be a little bit longer and kind of get more in depth with the customer and hopefully lead to an appointment.
And just curious, if you can share with the group, what is the general philosophy of your team? Obviously, they believe in speed, but quotes out, what do they typically do as far as then jumping on the phone to try to talk with the consumer? What are they shooting for?
Well, typically what they're shooting for is to catch them when the customer is still on the computer, if they can. And their first kind of instruction, what they try to do is to have the customer open up the quote and view the quote with them. So both the customer and the salesperson has the quote up on their screen at the same time, and kind of walk it through with them, and have a virtual presentation, for lack of a better word, and kind of go through it with that and try to deep dive what the customers are looking for. Just kind of like the same thing you do with a customer if they walked on the lot and you were kind of trying to do some fact finding.
And what you noticed, you've got a team concept there versus sort of a round robin or lines. Are those folks ISMs, so they'll work it to close, or they just focused on the appointment set?
No, work it till close. And so we've had, like probably a lot of other kiosks this last year, we've seen an increase in sales and leads and whatnot, and we've had to get a few more people in the loop to handle the amount of leads that we've had coming in, and so this has been a great way for us to make sure that everybody gets a quote within a set period of time, and we try to have 5, 6, 7 people, see at least 2 or 3 people on every shift here that is well versed in the product and how it works, and where they can pick up the phone and call them back right away as soon as we get that quote and walk them through it.
It sounds like it's working well. I know one of the things that you were happy to see is the power of the SmartFollow piece of the product. So a quote goes out and your folks are having that healthy dialogue. But if it's one of those 2-3 month out type buyers, we'll show folks what the kind of SmartFollow technology works. But just looking at it, you're averaging a half dozen every single week of these lost customers. The system sort of pulls back in. What's the general effect from your sales team on that front?
Feedback has been phenomenal. We've been on the reactivation kind of SmartFollow program for a terribly long time, but I'm kicking myself for not having done it sooner. Now that I've seen the results, and we have customers that have the original lead came in 120, 180 days ago. 40 odd days, 50 some odd days. It's been great. It's give a salesperson a reason to pick up the phone and call them. Whereas we have follow-up set, and we do our best to kind of stay on top of it and track it to make sure that it's getting done when they say it's when it's supposed to be done per our rules. But there's no guarantees that somebody's going to be typically always picking the phone and calling that customer 120 days out. We'd like to think they are, and we tell them to. But when you have a customer clicking on a link saying yes, they are still interested, it's just it moves that customer up to the forefront, makes it a hot lead again, and so are the salespeople's response on this has just been they've been over the moon about it. It's been great.
Now, one thing that I always hear time and time again from ISMs is there's just simply no way they can keep up with people far out. I mean, they try, but it's almost like found gifts. It's an unexpected Christmas present. You come in and you find someone that's 100 days before ask for a quote. Now they really want to take advantage and get going. So, what kind of tracking are you using from your sales team perspective to kind of make sure that they very quickly get back into and talk with these customers?
We have some internal systems in place. We have a phone system in place to where we can kind of verify the numbers that are being called, and kind of work our CRM that helps. But typically what's happening is we have once one of these reactivation notifications comes in, then there's kind of a widespread email that kind of goes out. We're linked, so a few of us are CC'd on this, so we know it. So not only do the salespeople are aware of it, but management's aware of it, and we're kind of, we do our best to stay on top of it right then at that exact time to make sure this customer's, getting called back, hopefully while they're actually still on the computer, having just recently clicked on that. So that's the whole name of the game, is to try to be as as quick to the trigger as you can, so you can hopefully catch them while they're still on the computer and engage them, and again, walk them through the quote, walk them through our website, answer any questions they have, and with the end all be all goal of hopefully getting them here in the showroom.
Well, what I might do is in a minute or so just actually pull up the product, go through some demo, if you will, and you can chime in where appropriate, talk through how you're using certain aspects there at your store. Anything that you think would be extremely important for another Kia store across the country to know that you think they're going to have to really focus on and to get the most out of this product?
I know the one thing that we learned is just give the customer as many places to click on as possible. One thing that we saw a really big increase right away was online applications. Want a link on the quote to get pre-approved in just one click, or get your credit approved today, whatever it may say. It's in a couple different spots, and that was the one thing that was very tangible. Literally started sending out the smart quotes, and the next day we started to see a spike in online credit applications. And when somebody goes through that process, to give you their social security number, their income, some of that more personal information, you can tell they're not just kind of window shopping at that point. They're pretty serious about buying a car, and that's been a really big boom for us. We've tried to take that, as far as it can go, with giving them as many places to click on as possible. And for this quote, the 2.0 quote, it's built to give the customers a chance to click on as many things as possible. So it's pretty dynamic.
Curve for your sales team, was there hesitation on their part or reluctance? Were they anxious about it all? And then once it was in place, anything that helped them kind of see the power, so to speak?
No, I think that, as far as anticipation, there was obviously just a little bit of a learning curve of exactly what it is. But once they understood when it was going out and how it was going out, and who was going to be receiving these quotes, and that we could kind of set it up to, we've people can dust different leads and communicate with from our website and various third-party providers in a lot of different ways. And so one had a clear plan as, okay, these are the folks that are going to be receiving these quotes, and they're going to be getting it in this amount of time. It was very easy to kind of talk through it with the salespeople, and quite frankly, they were very excited. The fact that these people were going to be getting these quotes without having to build them themselves, especially these days with some of the bikes that Kia is selling with the Optima and with the Sorento and the different combinations they come in, the way they're built. Some customers are so very specific as far as what equipment they want. So this gives them choices, and typically when they have choices, they have questions, and when they have questions, it elicits a phone call, or makes them a little bit more spend more time on the phone with the salesperson when we call them, and it helps move the process along at a much quicker pace, and allows us to get to a point where maybe it normally would take us a couple days to get to in a very much shorter time frame.
Well, I'm going to, if you're up for this, Ryan, I want to pull up a demo, and we can just show folks how it plugs into the dealership. And Jeremy, I'm even fine if you want to put on mute, for a better term, so they can go through and ask any questions they might want to ask. Give me a second, flip over here. Give me 1 minute. All right, so as you probably gathered, the main focus of the product suite is to help with a very fast response. The quality is what the ISMs, the sales reps, the dealership love. There's no way they can pull together something that dynamic, that quickly. It allows them to focus on the sale versus data gathering, copy pasting, all the things that are really just time killers. And really the time that takes is the time the person may have stepped away from their computer. So they're on the phone with them while the person's still looking at everything. And then this follow-up technology that, as you saw, I put some actual examples on the screen, 120, 180-plus day out kind of customers getting pulled back from the abyss that a rep might have just hit a brick wall with. So, the quote is what we were showing on the screen. I'll go through a little bit of the details there. The follow-up is kind of the safety net for Ryan and his store. Even if they're closing now 15, 20%, there's still a heck of a lot of customers that just stray away. And he loves being able to go to sleep each night knowing this thing's working overtime to keep those people in. And he's got some really great analytics. I shared some of those on the screen as well, where you can look under the hood and see, okay, what are these various components doing? Who on my team might need some help, some coaching? So, Ryan, CRM are you using there? I mean, there's a million CRMs out there, but just sure.
We use ADP CRM.
Okay. And the nice thing about the product is we plug and play with all the major CRMs across the country. It's also what I think minimizes the learning curve for reps at the dealership. They can just keep using what they're come to. And what happens is the lead kind of comes into the CRM, and on the fly, it's crunching and pulling together. The technology is the quote. I'll show everyone in a minute, but Ryan has full control of the pricing. He's got a back interface that lets him control his specials or pricing that he wants to go out in the quotes. And the quotes themselves are generated between his pricing rules as well as the vehicles. So Ryan, you take advantage of this. We have the ability to not only use what you have in stock, but really tap into the entire region, all the cars that are available in the region. Ryan can elect to activate those or quote those, even though he might need to do trade or something for them. So I'll show what that looks like. It's a kind of a regional configurator. It allows him to quote a car even if he doesn't have it in stock. Obviously, it doesn't have the VIN number for a car like that, but it allows him to engage a customer and have a healthy dialogue. And I guess tonight, Ryan, would you agree, it kind of makes you the biggest dealership in the market because there's not a car that you can't quote.
Right. It's a really easy tool to use, and it gives you a great snapshot of what's out there. And all of us in this area and probably nationwide have had to, do more dealer trades than ever before, and everybody's been great about that and working together on it. So it's just it's from a customer point of view, it's great.
It also picks up, your CPOs, pre-owned inventory. Even on a new car quote, it will show pre-owned alternatives to those buyers that simply can't afford the full new car right now. And obviously, it's going to quote your used cars that are usually pretty fast, rapid sales once you get them to the lot. Quote is pulls together in minutes, goes right back out to the customer. It's literally sitting in the CRM, so when the rep jumps on the phone, they can look at the same quote the customer's got. And so it's a nice, seamless, keep it simple setup, a lower learning curve than might be expected for something this complex from a technology standpoint. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. From a quick perspective, what happens is the customer gets a quick email. It says, hey, this is Jimmy. May I put your quote together? please click here to view the quote. And when they click it, it opens up a web version of the quote. That we're able to give them all that rich, deep information. So the items I've highlighted, they could email it to their wife, for example, or they could say, hey, I want this car so badly, I want to reserve it. If someone does that on Ryan's quote, it just immediately pings an email to the CRM to the rep working the lead with the CTIM management like Ryan, saying this customer is so eager, they're saying they want to reserve a car. Not reserving it, but it's a way for them to indicate that they really want it badly. As Ryan knows, we're also launching the Share This Quote with Friends feature, the new feature rolling out, little real aspect where they could get the word out to their Facebook friends. You have the ability to not only put the price on the specific car they asked about, but that same car with a little less option codes, same car with a little more option codes. You see the kind of low, middle, high to get the combination going. You can feature lease payments, specials, rebates, all those good things. And then these tabs that are sitting there underneath the car, not only vehicle details, safety information, photos, videos, all great information, high-quality information we get automatically set up for everyone. And I talked about the pre-owned alternatives, 4 closest matching pre-owns right out of your stock appear as a separate tab that's sitting there in the quote. And as Ron alluded to, it's all about whatever's best for the customer. If they do a credit approval, let them. If they want to get a trade-in appraisal, let them. Don't make them have to call to do that. Make it one click away. And you see them, you let them sort of play their cards, and whatever route they want to go down toward purchasing the vehicle, let them. Now, Ryan, you guys are doing live chat at your store as well. What vendor are you using there?
We are Contact at Once, I believe.
It's another thing that Ryan has. He has a live chat link we put in the quote form, so if someone wants to chat while they're looking at the quote, they can do that too. So, got their social media aspects, Google Maps, click for directions, other things you would expect of something in an nation age. So this is, what you saw from your internet team. It does sound like it takes a lot of time. Typical response I get from someone working their tail off on the internet front is, I probably spend 15 minutes maybe with a lead putting something together. And add that up, typical ISM with 100 leads. 100 times 15 minutes is 2 to 3 days. 3 selling days they're getting added to their month. And that's a big part of why they're able to get some incremental sales. So here's the back-end tool. Hey, Jeremy, if you want, I want to make sure everyone is unmuted, unless you need me to do that. That should make sure everyone is. Give me a second, everyone. Just want to make sure everyone is indeed unmuted. I think they are. It's hard to tell, Jeremy. If you want to double-check that, that'd be great.
We have that power.
Okay. Let's make sure everyone is indeed unmuted. Hold on 1 second. Type questions into the little chat window too on the right-hand side there. I'll see those pop up as well. So this is what you're looking at here is Ryan's back-end tool. He has the ability to run, for lack of a better term, a special. So if he wanted to run, $200 off on a particular model or trim level, he could do that with relative ease. An instant, that special would be in his quotes until he changes it otherwise. Also the ability to do that with incentive rebates. We do a feed that comes in right now, Ryan. As you know, that feed is probably 2 to 5 day delay. I just got word from Kia that they're trying to shorten that gap for us, but most folks, I guess, are probably entering it in or having the reception center in. And then we have a backup feed. If they don't enter anything, we'll have the incentives flow in.
We just go in at the beginning of every month, just right that first morning when they get announced, and literally it takes probably a 5, maybe 10-minute process once you know once you're familiar with how the back end works. It's very quick to update all the cars, the incentives. It really does not take much time at all.
Cool. So, and you can give multiple logins out, as Ryan knows. Leading specials, most folks will pick and choose which cars they want to have a lead special appear next to. Can enter in a monthly payment, or you could enter in money factor residual instead and have it calculate off the cost of the car. This is a tool. In fact, I might switch over just to show folks how well this works. This is a tool the ISMs get to use. Switch real quick here. Move over. Show Ryan's version. So this is what we call the ISM tool. So if they get a phone up, lead coming just isn't dropped in stream a phone up or a live chat, and they want to send a quote to someone, they can just pull up this bookmark on their cell phone, web-enabled phone, enter in the customer's email address, use hold-downs to pick the car that the customer's talking to them about, and hit send, and off it goes. And so by doing that, they can literally send a quote pretty quickly, probably less than a minute, and they can have that nice, healthy conversation with the customer without making them wait forever. And when they use that tool, it also sends it as a lead right into the CRM, so it kind of kills two birds with one stone. Any feedback on that piece from Ryan? Any reps kind of getting hooked on that, so to speak?
Yes, if the live chats, we get quite a few live chats, and we treat that like a lead coming in with internet pricing and whatnot, and so they're able to kind of just while they're literally on the chat with the customer, send it to them. Sometimes even we've half of our sales force is kind of pretty fluent with getting online on their phone on the lot with somebody, and doing it that somebody's not getting out of their car or whatever, just kind of clearly it's just an information or something, just to try to be as transparent as we can in everything that we do, just give them, because if we know the quote that they're going to receive and all the different aspects that they're going to see when they open it up and the places they can go to, we feel pretty confident that they'll click on something and they'll engage us, and we will be able to engage them after that.
Yeah, that's well put. The ISMs, they seem to quickly realize the power of this. They wish all the leads just magically appeared in the CRM for them, but they do get phone-ups. They do get people saying, hey, you know what, how much if I had a sunroof, things like that. And this gives them the ability to kind of do that very rapid fire. I know you have a quick quote on your site, on your website itself, but something we offer is a lot of folks don't have a pre-owned quick quote or something of that nature, so we give that at no charge. And then in December, we're releasing a quick quote or Facebook page, and we came up with the technology to add that to the navigation of Facebook. So again, trying to drive ease for customer, and at the end of the day, increase lead volume for stores. Quote, very similar to what you saw. It's just a reversed order, so it was that exact car they were looking at, and this is all about trying to get them to your lot first. If you're the one that answers them in minutes, if you're the one that says, I've got that car plus 3 others exactly like it, come to my store first to test drive, you're more likely to get them hooked and on the way home maybe from work that evening to your lot. You guys will take it from there. It even will put a new car upsell in there as well. So this quote, is all about those first couple minutes, blowing their mind, consistent professionalism, all day long, 24/7. Even when your store is closed at 10 o'clock at night, they could be getting this kind of information rapid fire. So that's the Smart Quote, and I thought what I'd do is just also give a sense, and you heard Ryan, he wishes he had turned this on earlier. SmartFollow is about those folks that are a 2 to 3 month out typical car buyer. And there's 2 halves to it. There's email, which is very unique in that it allows the customer to self-serve, so to jump into a web interface and get what they need, even at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, even at 10 o'clock at night on a Thursday when someone's not at the store. And then there's a web side of it that is able to talk to people even when they're checking their Yahoo mail, or even when they're talking to friends on Facebook or checking out the latest headlines on CNN. So I'm moving a little bit quicker clip, and as you know, but I figured I'd give folks a high level and follow up with more questions. But in a nutshell, I think, Ryan, you have yours going out on day 7, is it, after the lead comes in?
Yes.
Right. So we sort of set it up based on your own internet policy at your dealership, but Ryan decided that he'll let his team really just work the heck out of the lead for those first 7 days. And he has these unique emails that start to go out and ask the customer really simple questions. Hey, Carol, you asked me for some information on the Soul, just checking in to see where you're at. And it looks very down, sort of one click and done type in nature. When they click, simply pops open a web page and will ask another question or two. That's what I mean by it lets them self-serve. It helps Ryan extract a little bit more detail with just a click or two and get that next step going. So Ryan even has the ability for a customer to say, you know what, I really want to buy a Soul, but I've been satisfied so far with my service. So Ryan, the rep, can determine, well, maybe they want to have someone else call, right? Maybe Ryan calls. Not clicking with the rep, let's say else try real quick. They can do the thing from, again, 2 o'clock at night, no one's in the store maybe. They say, I'm looking at a different model. They can say, my wife won't let me get the Soul, right? She wants the Sedona. And it's served. They look at the latest incentives. They could schedule a test drive on their own. Part of volleyball email reps have to deal with is trying to schedule a test. This lets the customer schedule it themselves. They can latest incentive. Right? If they're saving money to buy the car and all of a sudden there's $2,500 off, that could be the difference. And anything they do is all about getting into the reps and management's hands immediately. One click, get it in their hands. So I'll show you what that looks like in the CRM, how the word is immediately triggered into the CRM. The same is true for the hyper-retargeting side, the web side of the follow-up. So this is very unique. We rolled it out earlier this year. When Ryan's quotes go out, his customers are what we call digitally fingerprinted. And so as they leave looking at the quote and they go about their week, because maybe they aren't quite ready to buy, they're still saving money, and they're checking CNN or their Yahoo Mail or whatever, they will see these very straightforward ads showing the exact car they had asked about, front and center, right face all the time. Here's that car you want, here's that car you want. Zoom in it. It's branded for the dealership, and if the customer clicks on it, it creates a test drive. Just a quick 7-day pull down lets them schedule a test drive with a click. So whether it's the emails or the web follow-up, we're trying to make it easy, one click away, and whatever the customer does, instantly straight into the CRM, straight to the rep the lead is assigned to, and we'll see any management you choose. So that can jump or pounce on that person that's now ready to roll. And on the screen a little bit earlier, Ryan gets these great weekly and month-to-date reports showing individual customers. And, I'm sure you do this, Ryan, right? You get your reactivations, you pull open your CRM, and you're like, okay, which of these guys actually bought a car?
Absolutely.
And it doesn't take long, a couple sales off of those, and you just know you wouldn't have gotten the sale without something being that relentless, working that long to get the customer in. And I think the reps just go, you know what, it's found money. I never would have gotten that sale if the system hadn't been there. There's a way for the reps to even pause SmartFollow. So the day before it starts, if a rep is having a healthy dialogue, someone's already set the lock and load on the car, they get this email in the CRM, and the rep with a click can pause the SmartFollow so it never starts. The program, this great quote in minutes. Ryan's seeing about 15% lost customers get reactivated, pulled in, and really reporting, so Ryan knows this thing's working overtime for him like he needs it to. but you guys are pretty attuned to that, I'm sure. Kind of the pretty minimal requirements as far as branding of Kia. And I just want to let everyone know that this is probably out there. It's for the taking. You got very intelligent, fast-moving dealerships like Ryan using it, saying great things about it. I guess I just, open it up to questions. See if I can get the. Hey, I'm gonna. Give me a second here. I'm gonna out of sharing everyone so I can unmute everyone. Jeremy, I've changed it back over to you because I think you've got the mute control. I tried to unmute it. It wasn't really going through, so if you can go up under the participant and unmute all, that would be great.
So the attendees are on just listening mode.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, Peter.
Okay. I'll look at my chat window real quick to make sure that no one has questions. Any questions from anyone out there? There's a chat window on the right-hand side. I'm not picking up your... you can chat in as well. Okay, anything that you want to share? I guess we got the quiet crew out there. People not really looking to ask questions right now. Anything you can share that you want, closing remarks you want to share?
Well, one thing I would say is that I consider myself at times to be a little high maintenance with some stuff, and everybody there at ResponseLogix has been great to work with, and everything gets handled very quick. I was very impressed with when we first launched. I was quietly kind of paranoid there was going to be just days of hassle trying to integrate this with our ADP CRM and everything. And I was pleased to find out that a lot of the people who I dealt with at ResponseLogix probably knew ADP CRM better than maybe we did. And it was seamless. It really was. And any type of changes or add or removals from the site, graphic-wise, or changes to things, it's been really, really quick and easy.
Cool. Well, Ryan, really can't thank you enough. I'm sure you're
Go ahead. So we do have a question from Mike Riley at Team Kia. He asks, how does the system handle specialty rebates, i.e. loyalty, competitive?
Yeah, let Ryan speak to the details, but really that's up to the Ryans of the world to determine which ones they want to include or not include. I kind of look at that a little bit, even almost like dealer cash. What do you want to put out there or not put out there? Ryan, you want to share anything on your philosophy, what you use?
Yeah, it doesn't have individual tabs for different rebates, but it's you to kind of under each quote, not under each quote, but like when I say it's like under each quote itself, a kind of print paragraph. It allows you kind of to disclose what rebates you have included in there, and so we've gone back and forth. We at one point just had the customer cash in there, and then after some time we tweaked it, and we've included owner loyalty or competitive bonus or merit rebates in there, and just it's simply filled out in the quote. So it's such a fine print that somebody never sees it. It's actually right there under each car, so it's pretty clear for people to see, and we have never had any type of issue with it whatsoever. It's been pretty customers and have been able to figure it out and read it. It's right there for them to see.
So now you guys have an approach that we like to recommend. In your opening paragraph, basically you, in a roundabout way, say, hey, we're going to be calling you shortly to see if you have any questions, and also see if you qualify for any additional incentives. It's a great way to get them to pick up the phone much more. Oh, you're not a military veteran, sorry, but if you've got them on the phone at that point, you start talking. So I know a lot of dealers use those techniques. Any questions you're seeing pop up out there, Jeremy?
Yeah, more from Mike asks, I understand the quote is sent to the customer and our CRM. If the customer responds from the quote, is that sent back to CRM as well?
In Ryan's case, it's going out from the CRM. And so if someone replies or clicks, it's going straight back to the corresponding CRM email address. So
Point had it set up to where we had, if you have, I imagine if somebody has just 2 or 3 individuals respond to these quotes, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we had ours in the past, the quotes were actually personalized, so coming from a specific person, and then those responses from that customer would go to that specific person's email address or email address. And so we do it as a group just because we may have anywhere from 3 to 7 different people corresponding with somebody kind of in a team format, which probably not the ideal way to do it and something I'd like to get away from, but for the time being it works. So
we can set up to mimic sort of the round robin in your CRM, or you can go with your kind of open pool format, which is kind of what Ryan's using right now. And based on that, it'll go back to the people that are on the other end of that email address or the group, and we to, and it's required, always want to CC a manager, just in case one of those reps is off that day, someone replies to a SmartFollow and wants to go, at least the manager is there to kind of take that customer and run rather than make them wait another day till the rep's back in work. Anything else floating up out there, Jeremy? Questions? Was that the last one?
One more question. Maybe missed it earlier, but does the new car quote come with a used or CPO option as well?
Yeah, why don't you just quickly pop it back over to me from presenter standpoint. I'll just pull up real quick so they can see it. There is what we call a pre-owned alternatives that appears right on there. And so give me a second. I'll pull this up so everyone can see it. So if I got this quote right on the 2011, I could click the pre-owned alternatives, and I could see closest matching pre-owned. I'll look over to 2012 as well. So I was looking at a 2012 Kia Soul. I would see the low, middle, high based on that exact car we're looking at. And then they could pre-owned alternatives and see details on those pre-owned alternatives, multiple photos, things of that nature. I think what's nice about this is the VIN explode on used cars. So it's difficult at best to put a nice, clean description of a used vehicle because of our VIN explode software. It pops up. It's a nice, what I think of as kind of online window sticker on the car. So you're in that. You're seeing photos. You can even see safety information on the used car, and you're off and running. What is, it's the information age. It's about choices. If the customer, that's what your competitors are going to use to sell against you sometimes. Oh, I've got a 1-year lease back. Come on down. Give to the customers. Get them to the lot. Question, any others that are popping up out there?
Yeah, Don Campbell joined a little bit late today, but he apologizes. I would like to have someone come here to the dealership. So I guess that's not a question, but some good there from Don. Thank you.
Yep, get to you. I'll personally give you a courtesy call. With Kia's endorsement preferred, we really want to make sure we're taking good care of you guys. So I'll get a call after the WebEx, just make sure we get you set up with someone right away. Follow-up question? Yep. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Everyone's good?
Okay.
More? Some questions. We'll get a hold of Mike on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to send out when you close out the WebEx, everyone, you'll see a recap and even a link to watch a little video. We'll send out a recap email where if you want to schedule a demo, you can do that with a click. And then for folks like Don, if you want to, just say I need a demo, we'll absolutely schedule that for you quick. We'll give you a courtesy call today. I'd love nothing more than to be able to serve you and take good care of you like we've done for Ryan. And Ryan, I really can appreciate you sort of opening up, letting everyone look under the hood a little bit for you. Much hated. No
problem. My pleasure.
Well, thanks, and I hope everyone has a great end of month, good month of sales, and hopefully we'll serve you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.